Yeah, let's just go. I mean, like we're going back, back and forth. Oh, we
All right, well,
flexing.
what's that?
I mean, flexing.
Who's wider?
Oh, that's a. See, it's because I got this. You can't see nothing. But
Oh, it's your shirt.
yeah, it's a shirt, so
Restricting your shoulder gains.
yeah, it's restricted.
We'll go with that.
Yeah, so.
Who's more vascular though?
I think I won that challenge a little bit.
We'll go with that.
Yeah.
Lily's the winner. What's up, you guys? I'm Crystal.
Willie T.
We got Willie here.
Yeah.
Want to just come on here and have a little chat with you guys about a topic that I feel deserves some attention. What do you think?
Oh, I think it's great.
Yeah.
I think we need to talk about it a little bit more,
I think so too.
Mm-hmm.
So
what's the topic about?
I would say in general we could label this topic as consistency and why it's important.
Okay.
And yeah, in general, and maybe why it's maybe even more important than, say, intensity.
Definitely, I think so. I think it's important. Intensity is the one thing, but consistency is a whole different another ballgame.
Yeah, I think consistency too is the one thing that most people struggle the most with,
Yeah.
I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably because it takes a long time. It takes a lot of practice to actually develop the habit of consistency to where it becomes more of a lifestyle.
Oh yeah.
Say discipline, and all those things that go into it.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to like come into anything in life hard, like, all right, I'm ready to do this, like, let's do it, go all out, like balls to the walls, hit it hard, and then you're just tapped out. And it's like, oh man, I have nothing left to give. And maybe you didn't get the desired result like right away, or again, maybe you just like tapped yourself out too quick, and you also didn't actually learn anything from that experience that is sustainable, right?
Yeah, I agree. And in one of my favorite books of all time, actually, it talks about. So it's a little short story, right? It's a parable where it's a farmer, right? And the farmer spreads out the seeds onto the floor of the ground, trying to plant it all day, and he thinks everything's going to grow, right? So that's the same as coming into the gym. You plant, you put on that seed. Oh yeah, I want to get better, that health. I want to get onto the new, my new journey of wellness, right? You want to improve. So the minute you put that seed is planted in you, you immediately get like all fired up, and that's where the intensity comes from, right? When you come into the gym one day, you're doing it, right? And then the next day you come in, like same stuff, and then what happens then is, because back to the story of that, the farmer and the seeds, one fell on concrete and one fell on like on the ground. Don't quote me on this story, right? I'm just paraphrasing all of it too, by the way. So basically, one of them didn't work because you started doubting yourself and you didn't see instant results, or you came into the gym thinking you were going to achieve this incredible result over a week or two, or even a day, and now realize that it requires you coming in every single day for the next year to see tremendous results, and you're not going to get exactly you're not going to look like the next bodybuilder in the gym over 2 months, basically, right? So then the next seed, it fell on thorny ground, and that thorny ground is where, in metaphorically, it says that thorny ground is when the worries and the outside and external encroachment comes from people. Like, you going out, your friends are telling you, oh man, you're going to the gym, where I just barely see this, or maybe you're at home and something happens and you lose track of it, and your dream and everything just gets put aside because of the worries of this life, and all of that takes it away, and that's your mind. So you got to get the mind. But the one that fell on the ground, where it was fertilized and worked and ended up coming out to be a huge yield, was the seed was planted in you, you believed it, and you understood it. You understood the process, and you understood the length of how hard you're going to work, and the struggle you're going to go through to make it happen. And when you go through all of that, that seed will grow into a wonderful flower and into something magnificent, because you understood it and you watered it every single day. You fertilized it, and you kept on doing it. You didn't want to go in and dig the roots again every single time, and you just kept on going, and you believed it was going to happen. And that belief, because of that belief and that faith in it, eventually you don't need to be motivated. Your inner drive will get you into the gym, will get you outside, and will get you in ground just because of that. And you yield. It says when you do that, you will actually yield maybe 30, 60, or even 100 times more than you actually sowed.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah, because you actually nurtured that seed. You took the time. You did the same thing every single day. Little improvements every day. Little growth every day. Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense, because life in itself is a progressive thing, right? You're not just born and then all of a sudden you're running a marathon, or you don't just wake up one day and say, well, I'm a Major League Baseball player today. No, these things require years of progressive training. So you start small, right? You start with one little step. You add a few more the next time, you get good at that, and then you keep adding on, and eventually all of those little tiny things that you've been doing, they just add up to something phenomenal, great. So I think a lot of times too, I could say that maybe it's even our society these days that kind of promises quick results, everything's gonna happen overnight, these fad diets and all these trends in relationship to the fitness industry that are just unrealistic. So when you're really speaking in terms of long-term results, it's really all those little habits that you create on a daily basis, and then you continue to do that and you continue to practice that, that'll add up in the long run. So, these things are hard for a lot of people too, because it does require discipline. It's not something you're just gonna go in one day and get it all out of the way, do one workout and bam, you're in shape. You gotta practice. You gotta practice just like anything. Like you practice learning how to walk. You practice learning how to talk. You practiced your whole life to be the person you are up until this moment. So these things definitely take time and dedication.
Yeah, and I'm sure you know a lot about being consistent and following the same and being disciplined. So could you maybe tell us a little bit of how you are? I know you're going for a show, and the discipline and the mental toughness that you have to go through every day will do. So
yeah.
you lead us through that, and with the same topic of consistency of that.
Absolutely. So I've been lifting weights for consistently for about 7 years now, and along with that has come a lot of learning and trial and error and a lot of growth. And the main takeaway from all of it has been how consistent I've been. So the times in my life where I struggled the most to stay consistent with my workouts or with my nutrition, I've kind of just been all over the place and I haven't seen the best results. But when you really want to achieve something great and you really want to make a change, whether it's your physique or your job, maybe you want to get higher in your field, in your career, in your job, maybe you want to do some personal development, maybe it's your relationship that needs some work, maybe training your dog or whatever it is, you have to change something about what you're doing, right? Because change doesn't just happen if you continue to do the same thing. Isn't there a saying about that where you keep doing the same thing over and over, but you expect a different result? It's like the true definition of insanity. Yeah, so the main things that have really helped me get this far, and especially throughout this prep, 5 weeks away from a show, is just staying consistent every single day, actually setting a goal, setting expectations for myself, and ones that are realistic and attainable that I can achieve every single day. So essentially taking a larger goal, breaking it down into smaller steps, those steps off the list every single day. And for me, that's been, I got to get my lift in every day. I got to make sure I'm prepared with my food every day. I got to get my mind right every day. So all those things add up into just little things, little daily practices, whether it's 10 minutes or 20 minutes or literally 5 minutes, whatever it is that's an attainable and achievable goal for you to do consistently and regularly, day in and day out. Those are the things that start to add up, and they literally just become a part of your day, like brushing your teeth, taking a shower, whatever it is, eating breakfast in the morning. These things will literally become ingrained in you and take you to places that you couldn't even imagine. So I'll use my prep as an example. There's no way I could have just gone into this and said, okay, well, I'm gonna take 6 months worth of workouts and I'm just gonna cram it all into 1 week, right? Because it's the same thing, right?
Yep.
No, it's not.
Work, you burn out.
It's not the same thing.
It's not the same
It's
thing.
not how it works.
You just burn out.
Yeah, exactly. So, I deal with this topic a lot with clients and just lifestyle clients and friends of mine, and and that's just having a hard time staying consistent because they don't see immediate results. So I guess the one thing that I always try to get across and through to people is that these things take time. They take sometimes years to develop. And let's use muscle growth as an example. So your average person, your average male, if their nutrition and their workouts are fully optimized, their recovery is on point, you're hitting all the marks every single day, you're doing everything you need to be doing, you're pretty much gonna max out at about a pound of muscle per week. And that's like for people who are just starting out. The longer you've been lifting, that actually goes down a lot. So when you're speaking in terms of that, like that's everything being maximized, right? So if you're just hitting one workout really hard for a week and then you're falling off, you're actually losing. You're losing out. But if you can actually just implement something on a daily basis that's 10, 20, 30 minutes, if your workouts can only be 30 minutes, it's better to go do that every day than it is to write it off because you don't have an hour or two or whatever it is you think that you need.
I agree.
Yeah, you can still achieve an incredible result, but it comes down to you actually putting in those things into practice every single day. Same thing goes with your nutrition. You're not gonna, go on and get on your diet for a week and then you look in the mirror and you're not shredded, and then you're like, well, it's not working, so give it up. Or on the weekends, say you're going out and you're eating all the treats and going hard in the restaurants or having a bunch of drinks or whatever, you're kind of spinning your wheels, if that makes sense. Where it's better to just kind of chip away at it little by little. You might have a couple off days, you might miss a workout, your diet might kind of be off 1 or 2 days, but that's okay because over the long term, the more days you can hit the mark and just do a little bit more and a little bit more, it's still progress in the right direction.
Definitely, I agree.
More better days, it equals something greater in the long run.
Yeah, instead of coming in and doing it. But aside from that, you also mentioned goals and checking it off, right?
Yeah.
So for me personally, part of putting down goals is actually just to check it off. And checking it off, there's just something about checking it off. It just makes you feel really
So
good,
satisfying,
It's
right?
like, oh wait, I did this today. Oh, nice.
It's almost like positive reinforcement on the daily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then once you do that, it's like, okay, I'm doing it every single day. I'm checking this off, and I come in, and you realize, next thing you know, you're actually a lot further ahead than you thought you were because you're keeping track of all these things, and you're going around and keep making a list, and it makes life not easier but more simple in a way, just because you know what you have to do. You also give yourself some time for your own personal development to like debrief your mind or whatever, and that's powerful when you're on consistent or just get results in the long term.
Yeah, absolutely. I know for myself, I work really well if I sit down and set my intentions for the week. And being super busy, whether you're in prep, whether you're not in prep, whether you're embarking on a new fitness journey or a new job, or maybe you have kids and your life is just crazy and busy. We all have those things. For me, I find it really helpful and actually therapeutic to sit down, whether it's every night before I go to bed or once a week, and kind of set my intentions for the week. What are a couple larger goals that I hope to accomplish this week? What are the smaller daily steps that I need to take to reach those goals this week? And write it all down, whether it's in a planner or a little notebook that you keep in your pocket or the notes on your iPhone. And check in with yourself daily and see how you're doing with that. That's huge. It really is. Even just putting it out there to the universe and checking in with yourself and being honest with yourself about what's realistic and what do I need to do every single day to reach this goal this week. That can be a very powerful tool as well. Help get your mind right before you actually set out, because a goal without a plan is kind of just, what is it? I don't know.
You're just drifting.
It's just a thought at that point, right? Or you're just drifting, yeah.
And it's the same with affirmation. Affirmations without action is you end up becoming delusional.
Right. Kind of crazy, right?
Yeah, you're affirming, but you're just expecting the results to come when you're not putting in no action.
Yeah.
And then you end up getting all delusional. You can walk around every day saying, yeah, this is the day, but then when it's time for you to act, you don't do anything, and then you leave it for the next day, and you keep repeating the same pattern and over again. You just wonder, why is it nothing working? Well, that's why.
Because you haven't done anything. I think that's a good point that you bring up too, about like putting it off to the next day and putting it off. It kind of goes hand in hand with what we're talking about here, that so many times I think we as human beings we assign tasks to our future self. Mm-hmm. Like, oh yeah, once this job settles down, or on Monday after the weekend I'll start, or after this month everything's so crazy I'll start, whenever my kids graduate I'll start, I'll be less busy, or whatever that thing is, that self-imposed limitation that you keep putting on yourself. The more you reaffirm that to yourself, then the less you're going to be able to progress. So I think the main takeaway is like to start now, set a goal for yourself, and actually follow through with it. Start doing the little steps that you have to do, and don't wait. There's no reason to wait at all. Start right now, because the more you wait, the more you're just reinforcing that behavior and that pattern of not taking action. And actions are what's actually going to ultimately get you to your goals.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it would be like that story of that one guy who went to Vegas to gamble, right? But he wanted to gamble, so he didn't have enough money, so he playing gambling in his mind, right? The casino, whatever games you play. I've never been there, so I don't know what it was. So he was betting every time, and he goes, "Damn it, I won every single time here." He was just playing that game in his mind, and he kept on saying, "Oh yeah, I would have won if I had put money in there. I would have won if I did this.
Yeah.
I would have won if I did that." But then he ends up going home, and he's like, "Man, I could have come home with so much, but I just didn't want to put my actual money in there."
Yeah.
And it's like, it's the same in life. If you don't want to actually put in there, take that little risk and be willing to give up the short-term kind of pleasure or the short-term thing that you're just seeing now for the greater whole, which is the greater whole is by next year you would be in a much better place mentally and physically.
Yeah.
Or would you rather stay at home and have your friends tell you, "Hey, skip the gym today and let's go out and let's go drink, get crazy." That's fine, you can take a day off. But then the next day they come back and you keep doing it the next day, then you put the gym or your life goals on the back burner, you're just delaying yourself that time to do it. And once you delay yourself, because inside in us there's a deep conviction inside in every human being that they know the direction they want to go, but they get sidetracked by secondary activity, or not just sidetracked, they drift away.
Yeah.
They start drifting, and once they drift, and that's where the worries of this life come, because you're so focused on what is happening in the like around you that you're forgetting what's in the presence, and you let go of your goals so that you can go out and achieve someone's approval or appraisal or vindication of you, rather than sticking to your intuition.
Yeah. Wow, that's really powerful. I didn't actually even think about that. But
I just started thinking, I don't know. I thought
Yeah,
I was
I
just
like that.
mumbling around, so if that sounded good to
it
you.
is true. Like, you have to think about the greater goal, and always be checking in with yourself. Like, is what I'm doing right now, is this decision that I'm about to make actually going to contribute to the person that I ultimately want to be, in anything in your life, anything. And if it's not, then maybe there isn't space for you to hold that anymore, and maybe that's going to be uncomfortable for you to say goodbye to, or maybe distance yourself from. But these things that we're talking about, these great changes and this growth, is inherently going to be uncomfortable at times. You have to challenge yourself in order to be able to change.
Yeah.
You can't stay comfortable and try to do what makes other people happy, or what you think other people might want you to do. It's not about them.
Yep, and then we fall into this pattern of the blame game, the victim game, and all those, just because we start going over, like,
Nobody likes
no one
that
likes
stuff.
that. No one likes it. I remember some guy, I listened to him a lot, and he was like, before he got on the path, on his journey, he redirected himself. His resolve was that one day a Girl Scout went to sell him a cookie, right? And he didn't have $2 in his wallet. And this was a 25-year-old male with kids and a wife and every reason to be doing well. And he didn't have $2. So after she left, he felt bad, and he goes, wow, I'll never let this happen to me ever again, right? So he went on to developing himself, and he found himself a mentor. And that mentor asked him to write down a list of things and people, a list of what is blocking him from achieving his long-term or his life's purpose. And he wrote down every single reason why he wasn't doing well. He says his negative relatives, the taxes, the government, the prices were too high, his cousins, his family, his mom, dad, brother, sister, any excuse, his environment. And
Other than actually just
himself.
him.
Yep, and then his mentor was like, you're doing, that's not what I want. You forgot one thing here. And he said, what? And he goes, you forgot to write down these two letters, M-E, me. So he went home and he took that whole thing down, and he just like crushed the paper up, tossed it in there, and he says, it's not my mother, not my father, not my brother, not my sister, or any of these, but it's me, O Lord, in dire need of change, of prayer. And as he kept on doing that, his life starts to get better, right?
Yeah.
And as his life starts getting better, he went from being just a farm boy from Idaho, and he grew up with like a little stutter, couldn't really speak properly, right? And a little farm boy from Idaho actually ends up being one of the top inspirational speakers of the time, which is, his name is Jim Rohn now, and I love his story because it just shows once you put in that consistent, deliberate action, along with discipline, courage, and faith, and all of them, you can achieve worthy goals in life.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
When I heard that, I was like, damn, this is amazing. And he goes, if you don't like something, change it. If you don't like where you are, change it. Why not? You're not a tree. and
Yeah.
trees grow to be the absolute maximum potential. If a tree is meant to grow up 100 feet, they'll grow 100 feet. They grow to the absolute potential. Whereas human beings, we have the capability to think and act for ourselves, and yet we don't blossom or flourish and grow into all that we can be, simply because we decide to give in
Yeah.
when the going gets tough.
And we
we're not
don't
seeing it.
take responsibility for our own lives. I'm guilty of it. I've done it so much.
Yeah.
So much. But you're just setting yourself up, like you gotta own up, you gotta take responsibility. You know, there's a quote I really like. It's called, "Pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice." Bad things are gonna happen all the time in life. That's just how it is. And it's up to you how you're gonna choose to react and deal and grow and learn from it and continue to progress. Otherwise, there's always going to be something that you can blame for why you didn't do the things that you said you were going to do. But ultimately, that's on you. That's on you, 100%.
Everyone is 100% responsible for their own life, and it's not the circumstances out there or the circumstances that happened before, but it's totally you to either want to get better and move away from the past and let the past fuel you, or you can stay in the past and continue in that well-worn path of life where you seem to go one step forward and 10 steps back because you're still holding on to something. And
Yeah.
You're doubting yourself. Self-esteem is out of the way. We all fall victim of that, but what can we do? We're not stuck there. We're not trees where we have to stay in that one place.
Yeah.
We can always get better. We can
Totally.
improve. We can go from the next day. One day we'll be like in a dark place, and the next day we wake up. We can just
Start all over.
start all over.
Yeah, we're pretty resilient.
Yeah. But the one
Yeah.
thing is, if you want a better life, you have to remain consistent,
Yeah.
and you have to put action and faith behind it. You can't just say, "Oh well, I tried my best," and not happen, because you have to fail, be willing to fail. If you're going to do something new, you have to say, "Okay, I'm going to fail. I'm going to do the necessary thing that I must do to get better." So I'm going to find out. I'm going to look for someone who is doing what I want to do, or a mentor. I'm going to be around friends that are constantly motivating me to go, or they're telling me, "Hey, you know what? I see you're changing. I'm very proud of you. Keep it up. Keep doing the same thing you're doing today. Who knows? Next year you'll be in a completely different place, and you'll be a better person."
Yeah, and you can even inspire those people along the way without even realizing it, Your transformation and your growth can be an inspiration to so many other people that may just have been inspired by seeing you put in the work every single day. Maybe they didn't think that they could do that, but seeing you do that lit a fire in them to realize that they could also do that. Don't give up when the going gets tough. That's why you gotta be consistent. You just gotta keep going. Not every day is gonna be easy, and not every workout is gonna be easy, and not every conversation is gonna be easy, and there's always gonna be hard times. But as long as you can confidently and honestly say that you gave your best effort, then you will see results. I can promise you that. That is a fact. If you want something and you're truly willing to work for it and put in the little steps every single day to get there, it's gonna happen. You're gonna get there. You're gonna go places.
Yeah, you're gonna walk around and have people look at you, even if you're walking around with a smile, and they want to wonder why you're smiling. If people ask you why you're smiling, you could just simply look at them and say, "If you're heading where I'm heading, you're doing the same thing as well." Right?
It's true. Happiness is contagious.
Yeah.
So don't be that guy that's always like, "Oh man, today's awful. Everything sucks." Be that person that's confident that today's gonna be a good day because you're gonna make it a good day and you're
Yeah.
gonna make the most of it. Yeah,
Which is
it goes
fantastic.
a long way.
Which is fantastic. I think we've done it. We covered
Yeah.
a really big topic, right?
Yeah, that was some deep. We got kind of deep
Yeah.
in that, but
Yeah, we ended up
I think it
being
was good.
whatever. But look at Crystal, she looks amazing, by the way. And we're out here in Gym Love as well, by the way. We're doing it in our little section. It's called, what's it called right now? We ain't got a name for it, but I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe if you guys have any suggestions for the name of our little, what are we calling this? A podcast or
I would say
episode 1?
episode 1 of I don't know. I guess we'll figure it out along the way, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. But hopefully there'll be more to come. We'll have it. Crystal here is a wonderful trainer. You should see her Instagram as well. It's called Fit Junkie, FITJUNKE.
Check it out.
Check
Come
it
say
out.
hi, drop in. I love to meet you guys. Give us some ideas too. If you guys liked this video and you feel like this was helpful to you, or if you feel like you want to dig a little bit more into some topics, let us know. We would be happy to go over everything with
Yes.
you guys.
Yes,
So,
and if you guys ever have any pranks that you guys want to do, I love pranks and I love playing pranks on everyone in the gym. So that's me. I come to the gym to annoy people. I don't come to work out. That's my workout. So my workout is just running my mouth all the time.
hey, at least you're consistent.
I'm consistent in that. So, you know, if you have any little fun jokes or whatever you want to do, come on in and just suggest it with us, and we are more than willing to get this on the goal, right? So how do we end this? Are we going to end this with yeah.
Thank you
All right,
guys.
good
Thanks for
work.
watching.
Yeah.
Thanks, Willie.
Mm-hmm.